Hey guys, John here again, and I wanted to talk about The Force Awakens. I know this is like the third time talking about it. I talked about it in the nostalgia video I did, but I did a 2-hour discussion with Matt on why we didn't like it, addressing the arguments and so forth. But I wanted to bring up another point that I didn't think of before, and that's for all the outcry and outrage, of The Force Awakens being a remake of A New Hope. And I'll still say that. But why is it that now we're starting to realize their bullshit? Why is it that now we're starting to see through their agenda, their end game? When over the past decade, or you can say a little more than a decade, it's been remake after remake after remake after remake. It's like, that's what pisses me off. It's like, why is it that now they're realizing this? I mean, come on, people. And I know some might argue that Star Wars is a bigger name and brand, and thus the fans are more passionate and they're more easily pissed. I can understand that too. Yes, Star Wars is bigger than Elm Street, it's bigger than RoboCop, it's bigger than Total Recall, The Karate Kid. But at the same time, we should know their agenda by now. We should know their end game. Why is it that now we're starting to realize that? Why is it now that we're starting to see through their bullshit? It pisses me off because where was all this outrage for remakes like Elm Street, RoboCop, Total Recall, The Karate Kid, The Hitcher, Jumanji, which now has found a director? Where's all the outcry and outrage for that? What, because, and I know people are going to say, well, The Force Awakens made a lot of money, people spoke with their wallets. Well, let's face it. Let's put it like this. The difference, a big difference between this film and A New Hope, people are going to say that, oh, Force Awakens, it was a gamble, just like A New Hope. What's the bigger difference here? The big difference between these two movies is that with The Force Awakens, there were fans already displeased, and any new endeavor with the Star Wars film was going to satisfy fans. And as a result, any problems are going to be overlooked and bypassed. Just because we get a new Star Wars film doesn't mean I'm going to accept what is. If it has problems, I'm going to be honest. If there's things I like, I'm going to be honest about it. I'm not just going to sit back and embrace whatever is put in front of me. Or I should enjoy it for what it is. Enjoy it for what it is? So I should have no expectations, right? I should have no standards, right? That means I would be lying to myself. I would be lying to my subscribers, my friends. I'm not making money from this. Because you look at all the top guys on YouTube. They're not going to rock the boat too much. Because they're going to lose subscribers. They're going to lose money. They're going to lose support. They're not going to rock the boat too much. Of course the majority opinion is that The Force Awakens, everyone loves it, it's a big hit. But on the other side of the fence, you got other fans pissed off and, mad that this film remade A New Hope, which it did. And I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan. My love for Star Wars is episode 4 through 6. But it pisses me off, and it's a head scratcher that over the past decade, a little more than a decade, it's been remake after remake after remake after remake, reboot after reboot after reboot, which is pretty much the same thing. Repackagings, rehash, regurgitated. That's a new word I got for it. The sequels. Recent examples, Expendables 3, Dumb and Dumber 2. Sequels I don't like. But really, a lot of it is the remakes. It's been like that for a while, people. Why is it that now we're starting to figure out and see their fucking agenda? It's like now we're starting to finally open our eyes here. I mean, how many times have I spoken out against the remake problem, the reboot problem, the prequel problem? How many great guys appear? Matt, Rambar for Life, Mike, OCP, the Italian Styling 51, Fabio, great guy, Wildman Beyond, Aaron, 3007. A lot of great folks up here. Honest people. I know it's all subjective, but how many times, how many rants have we done? How many, just videos have we done that we've spoken out against the remake problem and the reboot problem, the prequel problem, the studio's problem? And there is a problem. The studios have one thing in mind. And with The Force Awakens, it was to remake A New Hope. You can say there was ideas tossed out. I can believe that, in a way. I'm sure there were some ideas that were different that were tossed out. But ultimately, that's their agenda. Is we have to hit a reset button. We have to start over. Start over. We have to make the other films pointless. And I know some might say, well, you bring up remakes like RoboCop and Elm Street. Those films, the thing's different. They were half-assed movies. Let me ask, did they, remakes like RoboCop and Elm Street? Let me ask you, did the studios really care for these properties? If they really cared or gave one shit, wouldn't you think they would try to make a better film? Or that's the whole thing with the remakes, is that you would do a remake in the hopes of surpassing the original, or doing, or being great. You don't get that nowadays. I mean, look at another recent example, Terminator Genesis. That, if you like the film, fine, but you can't tell me the studios gave a shit about Terminator or the Terminator name. But it's just fucking frustrating because, yes, I get the arguments, and I'm with the people that this is a remake of A New Hope, The Force Awakens. But again, I ask, where was all this outcry and outrage and disdain and displeasure for the constant, endless remakes and the reboots and the repackagings that have been coming out in the past decade? It's like now they're finally seeing their problems, the studios and their end game and their agenda. It's like we've been, a lot of those people have been naive. I don't mean to be mean or anything like that, but it's just, for how many times have we spoken out against this problem, and now we're starting to realize it. Jumanji remake has found a director. Where's all the fucking outrage for that? Robin Williams, can we let him rest in peace? Damn it. Fuck. And if you're wondering, this video is kind of, it was off the cuff, it's impromptu. It's just something I had to address because I'm tired of The Force Awakens. Yeah, it made money. A lot of people saw it. And a lot of people will love it. And that's fine. That's not the problem. But again, for all the problems we have talked about with the studios and what they're set out to do. I mean, you're going to argue that, a lot of these remakes have been different. That doesn't excuse them. That doesn't justify. It doesn't justify this film. It doesn't justify the fucking trend or whatever. And no, I don't think, because I know I brought this up in the discussion because someone mentioned the Jurassic World and how that made money. So, if Star Wars makes money like The Force Awakens did, that makes up for everything, for all the reboots and the remakes. They might as well have been honest about it. They might as well have told us, hey, we're going to remake A New Hope. Maybe I would have felt a little better. They might as well be honest about it, right, studios? Right, Disney? You might as well have been honest about it. Instead of giving us a, straight up remake of New Hope. Underhandedly. Thinking that this is refreshing. This hasn't been done before. This is a fresh story for a new generation, this current culture. When newsflash, you did the same story fucking 39 years ago. You knew what you were doing. I applaud you, Disney. Mission fucking accomplished. You did your job. You knew what the fuck you were doing. Yes, I do blame Jar Jar Abrams too. I'll call him Jar Jar Abrams. But I just wanted to address a couple more things. I don't want to go like a whole 30 minutes or an hour with this because I talked about it in a 2-hour video. But I just wanted to again talk about a couple of things, some extra points that I didn't think of before that I wanted to mention now, because this is probably why I said that the 2-hour discussion was the last time I talked about The Force Awakens. Well, this is it. So, yeah, I think people. Why? I'm stumbling my words, but it's time to wake up. If your eyes weren't open before, they should have been opened. There is a problem. There's no creativity. It's such a creatively stifling industry. Hey, don't tell me, because I know I've had a comment recently, well, there's more original films being made today. Really? If that was the case, then they wouldn't have to keep resorting to remakes and reboots, wouldn't you think? More original films made today, my ass. And don't bring up the indie films. What does that say about the mainstream, if you're going to bring up the indie films? And there's indie films that I like, but there's bigger problems at hand. And I don't get why it's like now a lot of these people that are mad and angry like me at The Force Awakens, but at the same time I've spoken out against the remakes and the reboots. I'm not the only one. Again, people like Matt, Mike, Aaron, Wildman, Fabio, many others. We have spoken out against this problem. But I guess other people, other fans or whatever, have been turning a blind eye to this. Because we got a new Star Wars film. Holy shit, I'm going to cream my pants. You know what? And then now we're pissed because it's a remake of A New Hope. Again, we should know their endgame by now. We should know their agenda by now. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Get some stuff out of the basement. I'm calm. Goose Fraba. Anyways, thanks for listening, and have a good night.